rather be you than me. What's with we? Everywhere I go, I see no one really wants to be free. It's like we'd rather be you than me. What's with we? You need to be oh so free. Yes, indeed. What's up, y'all? It's your girl Chanel from Complex Simplicity. Happy Wednesday. I can honestly say I had an amazing day. I hope that you had a great day as well. I was off from work today, so I pretty much rested, had some good time with the husband. And then it's funny, my best friend, Lorena, shout outs to you, hit me up and about something totally different. And then I was like, girl, what you doing today? She was like, I got this to do, I have this to do, I have that to do. Why, what's up? And I was like, well, let's do lunch. You're busy as hell, but if you could fit me in, let's do lunch. And she fit me in, which is what I love about my best friend, Lorena. I probably don't really talk about her much, so to speak. And I probably will be referencing her more. I kind of do. Anytime I'm discussing like the topic of friendships, she's one of my friendships that has gone right in life. I've expressed a lot of hardships and struggles and challenges and like life lessons learned in friendships. But my friendship with Lorena, I have to say, is one of my very few friendships where we just get each other. It's not to say we haven't had our moments where we had to have a, girl, you know, I kind of felt some kind of way when this happened. Very few, maybe only one time I could really remember. I think we each had one time with one another of feeling some kind of way, so to speak. But what I love about her is that we have a very similar way of thinking and a certain level of maturity and understanding of relationships. I was in the social work world for 13 years, as you know. She was in the social work world for pretty much close to that amount of time, if not that amount of time. And so when you're in that world, it's a certain way that you think. And I even think that me switching industries completely, now being in the luxury fashion world, my colleagues, my superiors don't quite get that, you know. I'm almost viewed as being a little too professional, or I think just how I see things and think is very different because I come from the social work world. So that's one area that my girl and I have in common. And so we're able, the very few times in life we've had to have like a heart-to-heart conversation. Sorry, I feel like there's some hair. A heart-to-heart conversation with one another. We're able to do it in a mature way, to where we almost don't skip a beat, so to speak. And so yes, as busy as she is, she, you know, set aside some time for your girl, and we were able to sit in Pizza Hut. Yes, at Pizza Hut, you know, I love Pizza Hut. She kind of enjoys it too. For hours, just talking about what's going on in her life and what's going on in my life and different struggles she may be going through, different struggles I may be going through. Like, I love, out of a lot of my friendships, I have to say, and this is no shade to any of my other girls. I always have to put that disclaimer out there. But Lorena is my best friend for a reason, and it's because, or the one I'm closest to, I should say, because it is a two-sided friendship. If I'm being completely honest and transparent, I would say a little more than 50% of my friendships, if I'm really being honest, 65 to 70% of my friendships are not a two-way street. Whereas with Lorena, it is a two-way street. It's a friendship that is reciprocated on both ends. I never have to worry or doubt about her coming through for me. She never has to worry or doubt about me coming through for her. We're there to listen to each other during the most craziest of times with no judgment, and the list goes on. So I say all of that to say this. I had a lovely afternoon, evening with my girl, chopping it up, spending quality time. Had to shout her out on my social media, my personal one that is. But I also wanted to give her a shout out on this website. Why? Because friendships is a topic that is often addressed. It's sorry. I was eating some salt and vinegar potato chips, y'all. I was getting my life today. But anyway, friendships is a topic that is often addressed on this website. And so, yes, I have to give my girl some love and give her a shout out. So shout outs to you, Rena Bina. And yes, I know the last vlog I did had all things to do with my birthday, me turning 36, feeling amazing, feeling super sexy, beautiful, and all of that jazz. As I often say, I embrace getting older. You see in the background, I still got the balloons up for my little birthday party. So today I figured, aside from starting out with my tidbit about friendships, I'll talk a little bit about that, the importance of us having two-way sided friendships, especially us as women. And I will talk about some upcoming projects that I'm working on, maybe not too much information, but to kind of wet your whistle a little bit so you can know what to expect, what's in store, to vibe out with your girl. What we're trying to transition into as a brand, and I feel like there's something else for me to say. Oh, what I will say is this, a lesson that I have learned in the past few weeks to a month to months, if that makes sense, is, and I was saying to my best friend today, I have a tendency to always want to know the why behind something. Why is it that, Chanel, you did that or decided to do that or think that? Or why did this person say that to you? Why does this person move like that? Why do we as a company structure things in this way? Like, if you want to know anything about me, I always want to know the why in every situation. And what I'm learning and what I've learned the past few weeks is, Chanel, that is not always necessary. Try not to stay fixated on the why. I will be lying if I say that I will completely just abandon that, because it's part of who makes me me and how I think. But I will definitely work on not driving myself crazy trying to figure out the why in all areas of life, if that makes sense. And another lesson is sometimes you just gotta let shit roll off your back. Sometimes, because I'm the girl, I'm the woman that's like, you're gonna know how I feel. I'm always gonna say what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, in a politically correct, professional, wise way, right? But sometimes it's like, Chanel, is it even worth your breath right now? Like, when it's something that you feel your soul won't be able to rest at ease at night, absolutely say what you need to say. Be wise with how you approach it and how you frame it, right? But this doesn't need to be the case for everything. And I think I've been learning that a lot more in my day job, where it's like, you're not going to agree with everything. You may not see eye to eye with how things are always run. You are not the captain of the ship. You're one of the managers of the ship, but you're not like the captain, the main manager. And so at the end of the day, take these things that you see, right? Store them in the back of your mind, especially if you disagree with how things are being done. And then at that point, because I'm manifesting it, putting it out there, right? When it is your time to be the manager, then you move in the way that you feel best, or that you've learned actually is the better way, right? And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that who my authority is does things in necessarily the worst way. I will be honest in saying I may not agree with how everything is always done, but it's okay. Take what you need to take from each situation, and then move forward. Don't sweat the why, don't sweat feeling like you have to speak on everything. You do not need to speak on everything. Silently observe, store it in the back of your mind, and then when it is your time to be the captain of such a ship, then you lead how you are designed to lead. Everybody is designed to lead, to manage, to supervise, and to direct in different ways. We all have different techniques, tactics, strategies, and the list goes on of adjectives, right? So don't kill yourself in always feeling like you need to like, hey, I don't know if this is a, hey, we're red flag, hey. Like, it's all right. Everybody has their journey. Everybody has their process. When it's your turn, you do as you see fit. And so that is a very important, I feel, message for me to learn, to help me to grow and to be a strong manager when it's, oh, I am a manager, but like a strong store manager when it's time to be. So, you know, I feel like from March up until now, I've been going through the necessary journey of growing pains, being in situations that are not the most comfortable at my day job, but still learning from them and realizing that this is all going to equip me and prepare me for what's to come. And so embrace the journey, embrace the uncomfortability, the challenges, the mess ups, because I mess up, you know, the learning process, and let it mold and make you, meaning me, into that strong leader. It's funny, one of my girlfriends asked me the other day when she came to my birthday party, you know, if I'm up for another promotion, and I said, no, I'm not ready to be promoted yet, you know. And maybe it's because, you know, a lot of people realize it'll almost be a year that I've been at my current job, or that, you know, because I got promoted in like 6-7 weeks span of time of even getting the job and being in the job, from a part-time associate to one of the managers. That's huge, right? You know, and every now and then I try to sit back and like absorb it all in and take it in, you know, that, wow, Chanel, that was real. You're coming from a totally different background, totally different professional world, to learning stuff very quickly being thrown at you, and then 6 to 7 weeks later being promoted to a manager status, right? And so I said, no, I'm not ready. I'm not promotable right now. I'm not ready to be promoted. There's still a lot for me to learn as a manager. And I have to say, from March up until now, it's been the constant growing pains and learning from my mistakes and learning just information in general. Math has never been my strong point, but when you work in the business retail kind of world, it's all about the numbers. Learning retail math, learning percentages, how to speak to the business, how to coach the business, opportunities to get better. Like, it's been a journey from March till now. And as uncomfortable at times as it was, or discouraging at times as it was, I can honestly say I've learned a lot. I've learned more about myself, and you know, just how sometimes it's okay to like not be the star of the show. And that's me being 100% transparent. My last job, it wasn't hard for me and my work to be recognized without me trying. I'm not someone that's like, look at me, hey, look at me. Even though my zodiac sign is a Leo, if I'm keeping it real, I'm not like most Leos in the sense of like, attention, look at me, see me. Like, I'm very laid back, very reserved, in the cut. My presence is known, but I'm not out here pushing myself on people. I would just naturally all my life be noticed for my work. And in my current job, clearly I was noticed enough to be promoted in such a short span of time. But also, once I was promoted, it's like, it's a different level when you're trying to be promoted as a manager, right? There are different levels of management. I'm the lower level of management, right? There are a couple of more stairs for me to climb. And this is the stage where you really have to prove yourself. You really have to like learn at a fast pace and like learn the job and still have the ability to manage personalities, to develop your staff, to get the most from your team, right? So there's a lot that is still there for me to learn and to sharpen. And so I was able to say without any hesitation, oh, no, I'm not ready to be promoted yet. I'm still learning how to be a manager, you know? And so it's a necessary process, I think. It's good for me, like I said, to learn from my mistakes, to have certain mishaps. You know, this is all what's going to prepare me for what's to come with this particular profession that I'm in. And then y'all know my side hustle, which is this, that I pour my blood, sweat, and tears into. I have a lot of plans for this as well. Like I said, Candid Talk with Chanel is going to start to take a different shape and form. It's not going to just be me saying what I feel. I'm going to be having candid conversations with other people. And so I'm working on something. With God's will, it'll all go down in September, where I'm able to kind of share my platform with others, so that, not that I have this huge platform, but have great conversation with others about major life topics that I'm super excited about. I like to call them roundtables, but I'll leave it there. And then, of course, your girl's funny. My cousin hits me up today. Shout outs to you, Jason. I refer to all of my cousins as cuzzos, right? Shout outs to you, cuzzo. He's in Vegas living it up. Enjoy. And he hit me up randomly while I'm out with my best friend having lunch dinner. And he asked me if I was working on music, which I found very random for him to ask me. That's not necessarily a line of question he would text me. And I said, it's funny you say that. I'm lining up like more of the production side of things. And, my goal is to be back at it really soon, and to be back at it, and be in full-fledged work mode, definitely by fall, winter. And I have to say, I made a ballsy move the other day. I'm hoping this pays off. But, I'm to the point where usually I my first EP project, I worked with my brother. I'm now to the point where I'm pushing the envelope so that I can grow musically. I can grow with my songwriting. I can grow with my musicality, my arrangements, all of that. So I'm really, really trying to line it up in a way. I'm praying that it all works out. I'm putting it out there that it all is going to work out, where I can work with, in addition to my brother, of course. I do think he's an amazing producer, but I also would like to work with some other amazing producers and take this thing to another level. My first EP, I discussed the complex simplicity of me, meaning what my brand is about, meaning just what are the life mantras that I live by. But with this second project, this second EP, I want to more so discuss the complex simplicity of love. At this point, I've been with my husband for 13, 14 years. We've been married for, in October, Lord willing, 5 years. And I have a lot to say when it comes to the topic of love. And so I really want for this next project to go to another level, pushing myself to grow in the areas that I just stated, and to push the boundaries with what I want to talk about. So it's funny that he said that. It's crazy how lately, people in my life have been like, well, what about this? Or what about that? Which is along the thought process that I've been having with certain of my complex simplicity projects. And so, but we have music that I'm pushing to come soon. Soon, meaning 2019 into 2020. We definitely have, like I said, Candid Talk with Chanel is going to take on a different type of form that I'm planning on happening in September. And of course, when it comes to the audio, my visual book, I'm not done with that. I hit you with one last year. I'm about to figure that out. That's another project that I would like to complete before the year is out. Once again, I was talking about my childhood into different lessons I've learned in my growing up that helped me to become an emotionally balanced woman. But now I want to kind of dive into my young adulthood, into where I am today. So there are quite a few things. Podcasting. I've been talking about this, I want to say, for 2 years now. I am really, really at that point where podcasting is really going to happen soon, if all goes well. So just look out, as I do my usual vlogs, just know your girl is behind the scenes, day to day, week to week, working on a lot of shit. I'm working on a lot of projects. Y'all know Move with Finesse was a focus, and still is. Right now, my girl and I kind of had to put a little pause for personal issues that I will not get into. Not my story or any information you need to know right now. But yes, so Complex Simplicity is kind of a lot is going on. So rock out with me. This is why it is important for you to continue to follow me on Instagram at Complexed Simplicity 09, on Facebook Complexed Simplicity, so you know what is up. You can keep up with all of what's going on, because I feel like it's going to be a rollout that continues to roll out. You're going to be like, damn, she hit, damn, another project, damn, we're coming, I'm coming. Keep your minds in a healthy place, y'all. But yes, I'm going to keep, hitting you with projects that I am super passionate, enthusiastic, and happy about, excited about. And yes, so I just kind of wanted to give you a bit of an update, just in case you were wondering. I really don't like to speak about things until I finish them. But just so you know, I'm in the throes of a lot of these projects, and I just need you to know in some way what to look out for. Going into friendships. We're already at 20 minutes and 54 seconds. So going into friendships, a topic I rarely ever discuss is the healthy side of friendships that I'm looking for and that I'm appreciative to have in my relationships, right, with women. I often talk about the struggles, the challenges, the ill treatment, and things of that nature, the drama. But today is going to be focused more on the positives of friendships. I'm 36 years old. Thank you, Jesus, for giving me another year of life. And I have to say, since I got married, I got married at 31, and your life takes on a different focus. I would imagine I'll probably have the similar sentiment if and when I'm blessed. And I'm going to put this out in the atmosphere, when I'm blessed to be a mother, right? So when you become somebody's wife, it definitely changes your perspective, or it helps you to see what's important out here in a clearer way. So the things that I would tolerate in friendships and relationships prior to marriage, I definitely wouldn't tolerate since I have been married. When I'm taking time away from my husband, we work crazy jobs, right? So our time is already limited in some ways. My husband is a fireman, which means half of his life he lives in the firehouse, half of his life he lives in our home. And so when I decide to take time away from him, it has to be for meaningful, quality relationships. Now, because half of his life is spent in the firehouse, I have the privilege of scheduling a lot of my time with my girls while he is working. As a wife, you got to figure out, you got to get creative. Even as a husband, I'm sure you have to get creative, because your spouse is your priority. You have work, you have family. So you have to really figure out how to still keep your life balanced with family and friends, work, of course, and all of those things, church, for those who go to church, without taking away time from your spouse. And so for me, because my husband works a unique kind of job, when he works overnights, when he's working during the day, when he's just overall working, if I'm not busy doing my own thing or deciding to stay in the house and have me time, when I'm scheduling time with my girls, I definitely try to schedule that time around when he's at work. Now, if it's a birthday or a celebratory function, or so a lot of my girlfriends have children, it's their children's celebratory moments, and he's home, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But when he's working and I'm just trying to do my day-to-day hangout time, I make sure I try to schedule that while he's working, as opposed to him being home. And we've been, as I say, passing ships in the night because our work schedules are super opposite. That wouldn't be wise for me to schedule time while he's home and available to spend time with me. So today I spent time with my best friend. Why? A, I'm off from work. B, my husband, I was able to spend time with him morning into the afternoon, and then he had to go to work tonight. So it gave me time to be able to spend time with my girl without compromising any time away from my husband and my household and things of that nature. And so when I'm going to schedule time to be away from my husband, it has to be with people who I feel are deserving of that time. And it's not to sound all high and mighty or like I'm more important than anybody else. Absolutely not. But if I'm going to take time away from my husband, I work in retail, which is a crazy schedule. He's a fireman, crazy schedule. If I'm taking time out of my household, you best believe it has to be for someone who I feel like it's a reciprocated relationship, friendship. Of course, with Lorena, my best friend, we do have that two-way street type of friendship. Healthy, it's balanced. And so once I got married, I was looking to make sure that whoever I was going to spend such quality time with was someone who, in essence, would do that for me. You know what I'm saying? As you all know, I spent years, and sometimes I still feel like it happens. I do have people in my life who I love dearly, who I do feel like the friendship's a bit imbalanced, meaning it's not a two-way street. You know, I'm a Leo once again. I'm built to be loyal. If you want to go into the Myers-Briggs personality breakdown, I am an ESFJ, the console, which means I am built to be the host. I'm built to be the nurturer. I'm built to be the one that kind of like is in tune with everyone socially and is able to bring people together, connect people together, to maintain a certain balance within the social atmosphere and things of that nature. So I'm the type of person, like I've always said, I try my best and I pride myself on going hard for the people that I love. Supporting you actively, emotionally, being there physically. You know what I'm saying? If I have to pay a good coin, paying my good coin to be there for my friends. I still have relationships in my life where it is imbalanced, meaning I'm there for you, rooting you on, rah 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 shiskumba. You know, I'm there, you know, but I don't necessarily get that when it comes to my brand, when it comes to celebratory, sorry, tripping over my words, when it comes to celebratory moments, when it comes to day to day, not even day to day, but every now and then checking in. You know, like with a lot of my girlfriends, I try to check in. You know, I'm in a couple of group chats, as y'all know, you know, so it's good for us to be able to every now and then check in with one another. But then after a while, sometimes you start to feel like, why am I always the one checking in? And when I see those kinds of patterns, I back up. But either way, you know, I still try my best to be there. And I feel like I battle myself with that, because sometimes I feel like it's so easy for me to just be like, oh, well, you don't come through for me the way I come through for you, so I'm kind of backing up. And then the other side of me is like, no, Chanel, don't be like that. This is who you are. But then the other side of me is still like, but no, you have other things going on in your life. You have other shit going on in your life. Like, you're married, you have a day job, you're building a brand, you have your family you have to keep up with. Like, there is no time for me to like keep going hard in the paint for people who wouldn't even blink to do that for me, right? Or who may let their own personal jealousies get in the way of them doing that for me. Or just who, for whatever reasons, they just don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always constantly battling myself with that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, I know if I'm taking time away from my household or whatever, or even just my own sanity, you know, I like my own personal time as well, to just have me time, you know, to when I have me time, I'm always strategizing. Aside from resting, and probably doing housework and laundry and trying to make a meal, I'm always strategizing the next move, the next thing to do, where I'm trying to go, how are we going to crush these goals. Like, please believe I'm very busy even when I'm just home in my house. You know, and so for me, it's like if I'm gonna take time away from those things, It has to be for someone who's willing to do the same for me. And so what I love about having healthy friendships is the fact that it is a two-way street. It's not just me ranting and raving about what I'm going through. It's me also listening to what my friend is going through, encouraging them, praying for them, just being, a supportive friend, cheering them on when life is amazing, riding out with them and being there for them when life is shitty. Being there for the celebratory moments, being there for the tragic moments, being there for the in-between, like a constant two-way street, balanced friendship. And it's important, I believe. It's funny, I forgot what I was watching, but I feel like whatever I was watching, the message almost was like, the way we are in our friendships can also spell out how you are in your romantic relationships. It's just, relationships are relationships. The difference between friendships and romantic relationships is you're probably not kissing the person and sexing them. Now, for those who have friends with benefits, then maybe you are kissing them and sexting them. But like, the major difference is, that's the difference. Other than that, it's still a relationship that requires work, that requires you bringing things to the table, that requires you reciprocating the necessary things to keep the relationship going. And so every relationship is a level of sacrifice in some way, but the ones that are worth it, I feel like, are the ones where it's that reciprocated thing, and so I think there's something to be said about people who take friendships seriously. We all still need friends in our life. I'm not saying you need a whole bunch, but we all still need at least one or two good friends in our lives to do life with, aside from whoever your life partner is, if you have one. And so, there's something to be said about folks who are able to maintain a friendship. Like, that says a lot, and who shows up for their friends and is not just there to take. You know what I'm saying? Take that. It should be where it's a give and take. A give. It's this constant dance. Give and take. Like it would be in a romantic relationship. And so it was just so refreshing for me to even have that time with my best friend today and just really see that give and take play out, and sometimes there's something to be said about just being a listening ear, or having someone willing to just listen to what's going on in your world and your life. There's also something to be said about a level of vulnerability that is in a friendship, where I can be transparent. I can, just, hey, bare my soul and know that you are not going to judge me, that you are going to hear me out, listen, and give honest and good feedback as necessary. There's something to be said about that. I used to be able to do the friendships where it's all about the fun and we never get deep or dig deep or become that vulnerable. But as a 36-year-old woman, I think once I was 33, I was over it. Like, once I was 32, I probably was over it. Like, no, my relationships, my friendships have to have sustenance. There has to be a level of vulnerability, honesty, transparency. Other than that, it'll forever be like we're cool, love is love, but like that deep kind of relationship, friendship, what's the point of being friends if we can't like bear, I feel like there's something on my eye. Yep, there is. Sorry, y'all. What's the point of being friends if we can't really bare our souls to one another? If there's not enough trust and confidence that that person is going to be there for you, not tell the world your business, but pray for you, you know what I'm saying? Help you through, listen to you, like, to me, that's dope. Once again, healthy, balanced type of relationships and friendships. And even this year, every 36th birthday, I have to assess, especially in the friendship department, I assess myself and my behaviors and where I'm trying to go, what I've accomplished thus far, but I also assess those around me. And I had to be honest with myself And, there are a few people that may be like, damn, you haven't heard from Chanel in a while. She kind of went a little ghost. Like, I'm sorry. I love you. Love is love. But what I'm looking for and what I require and what I offer, certain standards, and no more of the imbalanced friendships, no more of unhealthy friendships, toxic friendships, like no more of any of that stuff. Like, I'm taking time outside of my household. Oh, you best believe it's for good reason and for people who deserve such quality time and all of that. You know what I'm saying? And I would like to think that they would do the same and hold that same measuring stick up or ruler or whatever assessment when it comes to me. So yeah, man, there's something to be said about that. Let us all actually like really try to make sure with the people who we feel are important in our lives, the people who we value to be a part of our lives, that we ask ourselves, hey, am I being a real good friend? Am I being the kind of friend to this person that I would want? Knowing this person, am I being the kind of friend that they need and want? Let's be good to one another, y'all. Like, the honest truth is not everybody is meant or wants to do life with a spouse, with a significant other. At the end of the day, regardless of what, we all still need a few good friends in our life, I always say to my friends and colleagues and just people I know, significant others, spouses are not your end all be all. You still have to have a few friends, good friends in your life to do life with as well. Like, I think a lot of people will be sadly disappointed who view marriage and like these long-term relationships with certain eyes. Like, you still have to have yourself. You still have to be in tune with yourself, which means you still need a few good girlfriends. If you're a good guy friend, you still need people in your life, your family. Like, once you get married or you're doing life with someone, it's not where you guys are just on this separate island by yourselves and that's just life for you. That's not how it is. Like, you still have to have your own identity and your own career if that's what you're looking for. Your own few good friends. You have to have enough stuff for yourself. I feel like spouses and children, I'm not blessed to be a mom just yet, but I would like to think the same kind of applies. Spouses and children are not going to always be what fills you and makes you ultimately happy and satisfied. You know what I'm saying? Yes, they help, but you still have to have something within yourself that's going to help that. And I feel like only Jesus alone can make anybody ultimately fulfilled and happy. That's just me. And so, yes, let's strive to have two-way street types of relationships and friendships and, do right by people, how we will want people to ride out with us. You know what I'm saying? It's a constant effort. It does take effort, especially now that I'm married and I'm very busy, for me to keep up with the few friends that I feel I value their relationships. That is effort. It is work. It's not just easy and simple, but because I value these friendships and relationships, I'm going to make sure that to the best of my ability, I do my part in keeping that relationship going. My love language with my husband as well as with my friends and family is quality time. So quality time, that's like my number one that I scored under the 5 love languages. For me, I'm all about scheduling time for us to hang. I'll check in here and there to make sure you're good, you're breathing, you're straight. But my love language is spending quality time. Like I said, me and my friend, we were just in Pizza Hut for hours talking. Like, for me, that's everything, So, let's all try to make those efforts. And I even challenge myself to make those efforts. I know a lot of quite a few of my loved ones are going through it right now. Health-wise are going through it, financially going through it, in relationships going through it. Like, let's be there to support one another, to be honest with one another, to pray for one another, to love on one another, to be the friend that we would want people to be to us in such trying and difficult and challenging times, you know. To me, that's what shows what your friendships are made of, what your marriage is made of, what your relationship is made of. Like, it's the hard times when people are still riding out with you, checking in on you, you know what I'm saying? Like, there for you. That's what shows what it's made of, you know? So I wanted to share a few thoughts on that. Yes, continue to rock out with your girl by going to complexsimplicity.com. Like I said, we have a lot coming down the pipes. I want you to be a part of it. And so thank you so much for all of you who constantly support me. And until next time.